Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. Welcome to another episode of the Week in Geek. Oh, man. This has been like a really crappy week for everybody on multiple levels, and for me especially, too. Obviously, we can't overstate, the loss of Ozzy Osbourne at the beginning of the week and Hulk Hogan midweek, and no matter what you thought about Terry Bollea, you have to recognize that Hulk Hogan was an icon in the sport of wrestling, sports entertainment. The guy was bigger than life in the ring, and because of him, a lot of us tuned in as kids and stuff. I've known Hulk Hogan since he was wearing green trunks and wrestling in smaller promotions like World Class Championship Wrestling and other things like that. And yeah, he body slammed Andre the Giant back then too, but his big body slam wouldn't come until WrestleMania 3. So I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. And as a kid, I pretty much grew up listening to Ozzy Osbourne, who, I would gleefully be reading my Monster Manual or something, and, Ultimate Sin would be playing in the background or something. It's just this part of my childhood. And I'm sad these guys are gone. And they weren't the only ones we lost. Tuesday I mentioned we lost Shunsaki Tamiya from Tamiya Model Kits. Putting together their tanks with my uncle was a happy part of my childhood as well. My uncle was a big fan of Chuck Mangione, a jazz artist who also died this week. And we lost a member of Golden Earring who I remember seeing them on MTV growing up. So it's just like my childhood is disappearing like one person at a time this week. And I kind of want it to stop. I already think I mentioned Malcolm Jamal Warner earlier this week, of course, too. You grew up watching The Cosby Show, and that's another death. So they just piled him up this week. I mean, he went on a spree. And then, of course, I had a personal tragedy. Somebody I used to hang out with, somebody I used to play games with, has passed away, and he was only 2 years older than me. Well, actually, he was a year older than me. And I only found out this week. Funeral's on August 1st, so yay. Something to look forward to, I guess. So I'm not having a great week as far as personal loss goes. I honestly thought about not doing a stream today, but I'm reminded that Ozzy Osbourne had to be strapped into that throne because he couldn't stand very well. And, he had to be assisted throughout that concert, but he did it. He did that last concert. That was his swan song. That was his farewell to everybody. Whether he intended for it to be or not. And he didn't let it get him down. He didn't didn't fail to show up. He did what he had to do to get in there. He had no pain medications because it made him kind of foggy and stuff. So he was singing out there with Black Sabbath in pain. But he did that for us, knowing it was going to be the last time that Black Sabbath played. And, well, it ended up being the real last time that Black Sabbath will ever play, at least with Ozzy as the frontman. So I know I'm kind of all over the place with this rant because that's really kind of like how my emotional state is right now. I am kind of all over the place with all the death and all the things that have been happening this week that have been kind of blowing up out of control. And I'm really angry and frustrated deep down. I don't know how to do anything else about it except get up here and let you guys know and maybe talk it out with some friends. So why don't I bring them on? Hey, Grim.
Hello.
Hey, Caster.
Hello.
Dash and Hunter. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Look at you. Mephiston Red?
Yes. Well, actually, this is one of the ones I 3D printed. Which there we go.
Oh, looks good.
Let me see if I can better that. Nope. There we go.
Hulk Hogan was trying to play bass for Metallica? I didn't know that. Is that a joke? Or is that for real? I didn't even know Hulk Hogan knew how to play a bass.
But he sure knew how to play the crowd.
Yes, he did. And I'll be honest, it's like I don't necessarily want to say bad things about the Dead, but I've seen too much stuff about Terry Bollea's actions behind the cameras and stuff, and I don't really appreciate any of that stuff, of course, but since I wasn't privy to that growing up, I mean, he was the Hulkster to me. I mean, eat your vitamins, say your prayers. I believed in that 100%, and so did my friends. So, whatever kind of a man he was behind the camera, Hulk Hogan, the hero, the wrestler, was, he's always going to be an icon. He's always going to be a hero. Can't take nothing away from him.
Has Ventura said anything about his death?
Not that I know of. I haven't actually looked for anything on. I know Ted DiBiase said some nice things about Hogan after he died. So,
Has the Iron Sheik gimmick account said anything?
I think they pretty much said their usual, F Hulk Hogan.
Fuck them.
Yeah, no, that was always a running shtick though, because I mean, Iron Sheik was always saying that about Hogan.
Oh,
Sergeant
okay.
Slaughter,
Context.
Sergeant Slaughter actually had nice things to say about Hogan. Yeah, that's what I said too, Savo. One of my friends was really upset about Ozzy this week, and I said, well, hey, look at the bright side. He's back together with Randy Rhoads, and we know he loved Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, I was listening to him sing Mr. Crowley on stage. Like, I was watching a recording of that part, and you can tell he knew, and like he was there for the crowd. Like, you could tell he was there and he was happy. And so,
Yeah.
like, what more can you ask for? Like, to go out on such a high note.
I mean, the only thing would have been better would maybe for him to have, performed his last song and then died right there on the stage. But that would have been epic. I mean, that would have been full-time Ozzy right there.
Well, just think, he's biting the heads off angels now.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I saw a meme where someone's like, Ozzy Osbourne in heaven, he's waving by, and then his face first fell, and it says the bat that he bit the head off as it's just like pounding his fist ready to go.
I don't know. But yeah, we got some other stuff to get into. Internet says that Hulk Hogan did not even get an audition with Metallica. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, if I started ranting about Metallica and how much I dislike them, this entire show would disappear in an hour. I'm seriously, it would, because I hate Metallica so much. But this is sad because
on it.
No, I used to actually love them. They used to be one of my favorite bands ever, and then it was just nah. Too much water under the bridge. I'm glad for people who still like them and still listen to them, but I won't buy any of their stuff or listen to it. And speaking of not being able to buy anything or not wanting to buy anything, apparently the credit card companies would like to tell you what you can and cannot buy anymore. And that is kind of a continuation from last week.
It's like I'm feeling very sorry for the UK right now, that's for sure.
Oh,
I feel sorry for everybody.
No, but them especially, they can't even use like the basic internet anymore because, like, I hear even the VPNs don't work.
Yeah. Well, we got a Britain here with us today, so I'd like to hear your thoughts about all what's going on, Grim.
Well, unfortunately, I run the show, though.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to take over there. I was just figured we got a Brit on the show. Might as well ask the one guy that would be able to tell us.
we have two Brits actually, because we got Savo out here in the chat, and then we have Grim. And yeah, I was going to actually ask Grim what he thinks about all this, because this is directly impacting him.
It's shit.
Straight up.
Like all of these kind of things that they try and do, it's going to inconvenience anyone who's a legitimate user and barely inconvenience the kids. Fake IDs have been a thing for a long time. People are using games to bypass the Face ID. It's an utterly pointless exercise. And what worries me is it lays the groundwork for future censorship. And
you mentioned something on your video today that really got my attention, and that is the fact that because of all this age verification nonsense and everything else, it's putting everybody's data in one place at risk of a cyber attack.
Yeah, and it's linking your identity to a very, very tempting blackmail target, which is, what do you like to fap it to? Now, I'm already fucked because I work in the adult industry and adult adjacent. Yeah, my ID is already on everything because you have to do that to perform, even if you're not performing, if you follow me. So I'm already screwed, but now everybody is. And no data store is completely secure. Sooner or later, someone is going to figure it out, right? And social media companies can already piece together the breadcrumbs of your trail across the internet and figure out that you might want this, that, or the other. So this just makes something that most people are at least a little bit careful about now.
Oh, come on. It's not really like your smart devices are really listening to you. Never mind the fact that I thought about something today and my phone brought it up.
Yeah. And what happens when one of these ID companies is based out of the Cayman Islands or somewhere else that doesn't follow international law, and then the company goes bust, right? All that nice, juicy data is worth a lot of money, which can then be sold to pay off their debts and everything. It's just a matter of time before this goes horribly, horribly wrong.
It brings to mind the story that came out this week of the T app, which to inform you guys, was basically a gossip site women ran that would basically let women talk about men. However, a lot of the verification of that had very little protection around it, and so all that data was just so easily accessible that basically the face and location of every woman who used it wound up just being offered right up for everyone to use.
Yeah.
Digital privacy is very important, and this is a really concerning story ultimately.
Yeah. Oh, there is something that I think is very important to convey about what's going on in the UK. It's not even this government's legislation. This was started under David Cameron, so that takes us way back. So their original version of this isn't even the worst incarnation of the bill. It has been whittled away and weakened and watered down quite a bit. Previously, they were talking about things like esoteric content. God knows what that even meant, right? And it's not like obscene has a very solid definition either in British law or anything else. So there's all these weasel terms and things that are just determined by whoever happens to be the Home Secretary of the day. And yeah, like I said, it lays out this groundwork for censorship, but it's not owned by any one political party. Well, 23andMe went bust, didn't they? Right?
Yes, they did.
So
Yes.
God knows where that gene data is now.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned because I did Ancestry DNA, and if that company ever gets bought out and folds, everybody's going to know that I am actually Jewish. But
it does feel like everything's going wrong all at once, doesn't it?
yeah, it kind of does. I mean, maybe the people who died this week, it was a mercy for them because they wouldn't be able to tolerate the coming apocalypse that seems to be befalling all of us slowly.
Yeah, pulling on the eject button.
It almost sounds like we're off the rails on a crazy train.
It does indeed.
So I got a little follow-up question in regards to all this because Steam has fallen victim and is removing stuff.
Yes.
Itch.io has fallen victim, has removed a whole bunch of stuff, which was which is detrimental to a lot of the indie creators out there. Yeah. So now the big question is Drive-Thru RPG going to cave into this too?
That's the thing. I've already said this. Every company is going to end up folding to this if it's a credit card thing. Yes, Drive-Thru RPG isn't as big as Steam, and Steam folded a little bit. And Itch, I don't think Itch is. I don't know.
Well, Itch.io does a lot of it's a lot of like indie game developers, but a lot of RPG content was popping up on Itch.io as well. A lot of charity bundles gave away like a PDF for Teach RPGs, and with Drive-Thru RPG being like the biggest site for Teach RPG content. If that thing starts goes bust, and then you can't get your favorite independent creators' stuff on there anymore, that's going to take a major, massive hit on the hobby.
Yeah, I know that, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, if Itch folded, I'm not sure if they're bigger or smaller than DTRPG. I would think they were smaller, but
I'd put them about the same. But they do a multitude of stuff, so it's hard to say which part they do.
What's good is there's at least one country that's taking like action against at least Visa in particular, and that's Japan.
Here, let me put that up because I was gonna bring that up.
Dash, see, this is why Dash is the king of the segue.
Yes, he is. That's why I wanted him on the show. So this man is actually a not the Japanese prime minister, but he is a I forget if he is what his position is in government, in the Japanese government. But yes, because the Japanese are basically looking at a lot of their livelihood getting hit by the censorship and stuff. Yeah, he has. Yeah. I mean, think about how much stuff comes out of Japan that we pay for, in terms of anime, manga, video games. That's one of the reasons why the Japanese sell to us over here in the United States is because they needed our markets and our money because theirs weren't cutting it anymore.
That's why the new Kamen Rider is getting pushed more globally because there's not enough people there to be able to justify it.
Mm-hmm. And other elements of it are, the fact that the companies are actually getting to the point now where they are simul-dubbing or they're simul-releasing everything in the United States and in Japan.
What do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Oh, it means like the dub and the original get released at the exact same time, whereas there used to be a delay between the dub release and the official release.
Gotcha.
And yeah, Magnificent Devil is absolutely correct. Steam being forced to comply is notable because Valve has historically ignored all other attempts to force their hand in the past, which shows how deep the hooks are. Yes, exactly.
Because
100%.
Steam can't survive without credit cards. Like, it's a completely online business.
Yeah, Giant Slayer games could get hit because they allow people to publish without the censorship that DTRPG has taken upon themselves to exercise. Exactly. Any independent seller of any product, anything you can imagine, if you use a credit card to pay for it, this is all at risk. All they got to do is decide we don't like this, we find this morally objectionable, or it could just be that the CEO of MasterCard woke up one day and he decided, you know what, we shouldn't sell bottled water is a problem. Let's never ever let anybody buy that through our credit cards again.
See, I actually support
that's
this
extreme.
because fuck Nestle, because they keep coming in and they keep trying to take more of the Great Lakes.
Well, I mean, why don't you sell them all that Flint water? You got plenty of it, right?
Well, the problem with that is, with the amount of water Nestle wants to take out of the lakes, it would actually lower the water levels. My well would go dry.
They can have all the water from my well if they want to. It's full of gypsum.
Pesky gypsies.
No, gypsum. That we're talking about the white powdery stuff.
Oh, I thought you were serial killing gypsies and stuff.
I was about to say cocaine.
No, not cocaine. But
No, but I also think if they're just going to be doing this to businesses, it's only a matter of time before we have another Canada trucker situation again, where you just freeze the bank accounts of all those truckers like they did.
Flint water is loaded with minerals. Yeah, too bad it's like lead.
Yeah.
Because lead is a mineral.
And this is why, even though it's mostly affecting like porn games, which most of the like conservative politicians won't run out and defend, like because like this has long-reaching stuff, I am hoping that the United States does like get involved in reining in these companies, because it just seems like that there's just no accountability with these credit card companies. They're just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, I mean, it's like we've had overreach going on all the time. I mean, it's like here in Texas, it's like the whole censorship and everything else that is running rampant through it.
That's right.
Cutting off adult sites and everything else. Yeah, this is stuff I'm already having to deal with. Not that I'm an avid Pornhub watcher or anything. I don't think I ever even tuned into it, just because it's like, why? I mean, seriously, all I got to do is like, hit the search engine for whatever type of thing I'm looking for, and I can usually find pictures of it.
The only thing I ever used Pornhub for was to watch Wordsworth, which is a very old and very famous hentai.
I mean, it's like for a while there, Pornhub was the repository for all the gun videos. So
I've been trying to think of an analogy that works here, and I think maybe it would be if suddenly credit card companies refused to honor transactions involving alcohol because they had a moral objection to it.
Yeah, we already saw how that worked out here in the States when they tried to ban alcohol.
That was government though, but I think maybe people will understand what's going on a bit more.
Yeah, it's okay if the private sector tramples on your rights. It's just as bad if the government does it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free market. It's a private company. They can do what they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, payment processors and big banks have been pushing in this direction for a long time. It's only going to get worse, and they're going to keep going to erode all creative freedom because it's about control. Yeah, I think so.
I don't get it, right? They're supposed to be about money. And I do think that maybe is what it is actually about, because there are second-tier payment processors which are actually owned by these companies, but they charge much higher rates, and they've been predating upon the sex worker and adult industry for decades at this point.
And I was just thinking about porn itself is like, I don't know, it's like, what do they say? It's like $1 billion industry, I think. And yet the banks don't want that money to come to them too, because I'm pretty sure they're receiving part of that money in the back end as well. So now they're just cutting off a thing for them.
Corn, a wonderful substance. Corn.
Yeah. Corn.
The thing is, like, it's not the live action stuff or the e-thoughts on OnlyFans. It's all fictional work, and it's all digital, like shit they're going after. like fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'd like to take a moment to remind you of this particular thing right here, because it appears we're at this stage now.
And the unfortunate thing is we're starting to see people we're starting to see people talk about the possibility that the similar like Jack Thompson types might try and use this same push to start banning violent video games because God forbid you want to play Call of Duty or you want to play something else like that. And, I mean, hell, right there, no mercy.
Virtually anything they object to, no matter how big, no matter how small. But that's how it starts. If you let one of them in, they all start coming through the gate.
These Karens in Australia wanted to ban Detroit Become Human, which actually was against abuse. I mean, yeah, you can redeem that father figure, that the guy who's abusing the kid, but you can also kill him.
Yeah, I've played the game. I own it, and I really love that game. Just because, from a cinema point of view, it's a really good storytelling, and there's multiple options and multiple ways to handle everything. It's not everything's gray and not everything's black and white in that game.
These were just. Sorry, go ahead.
The point is, it's like these people are not. It's not like they're Well, okay. This goes all the way back to stuff that's happened to me and stuff that's happened to Grimm.
Yeah.
Okay, when we got canceled. It's not people who are actually interrogating the subject matter and looking at the content. It's just people who are picking up a headline, picking up a word, picking up something in there that they can throw out there as morally objectionable and cancel people with. It's cancel culture 2.0 or whatever you want to call it at this point. I mean, personally,
apparently this collective shout group, it's not so much a feminist group as they've got ties with like religious right conservative type stuff. It's a bit like how it's gotten confused around TERFs here in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when they went after the musicians. I remember the Satanic Panic. I remember all this stuff. And back then, we thought all these people were crackpots, which they are. But
go ahead. I was just going to say, I remember the late 90s, early 2000s, whatever was saying, oh, the video games and the music are going to make you violent. You're going to go on a murder spree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did, but that was unrelated.
I listened to ICP ever since I was in the 8th grade, and I'm still perfectly fine.
Hunter? How do magnets work?
Awesome. Whoop, whoop.
No, I like ICP. I like Juggalos. They're cool people, mostly.
I listen to a lot of the guys that were in that section of the music genre.
The one thing I wish they didn't do is ruin Fago.
They didn't ruin it. They popularized it.
Yes, but now that's what it's associated with. I can't enjoy it or bring up I happen to like it without them becoming the face of the drink.
Well,
and it's a local drink here too, so it's like it's a little bit of that local pride.
Well, we have it here. Okay. Well, here's a solution, Ironcaster. Here's what you do. You go pick up a few ICP albums, you listen to them, and then you can honestly say that you're a Juggalo, or at least you're, Juggalo bi-curious. And yes, Ozzy did get dragged to court for suicide solution because he was talking about alcohol. He was
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it happened a long time ago. He released a song that was called Suicide Solution, and people thought that it was a call for people to unalive themselves, when in fact he was talking about how alcohol destroys you because he'd seen it happen too many times to other people and himself.
Didn't they do the same thing for Marilyn Manson with his Get Your Gun song because the Columbine kids listen to that one?
Oh my God, they went after so many bands because of those. I remember Rammstein in particular. It's like I made a comment. I was heavy into Rammstein. I still am, but way back in the day when that happened, I told one of my friends about it. I said, "Hey, you should check out this song. It's from Rammstein." Rammstein? Aren't those the guys who the Columbine kids were listening to? And I mean, that's the association, and that's what pisses me off is the fact that when something horrible happens, you end up having that association thing, and you know. But I digress.
These
I mean,
days, these days,
Hitler
no one thinks
drank
about that.
water.
They think about
yeah,
the thing is,
Yeah.
with those guys, nobody thinks about that. They think of the trench coats. They think of trench coats. They think of Counter Strike.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, since Dash brought that up, I think this would be a good video to segue on as we get into our next little segment here where I actually called Dash in to talk about. But here we go. You guys will enjoy this if you haven't seen it. We may get copyright claim for this, but I don't think so.
So good. So good.
I'm smiling super big over
I'm a
here.
time traveler
you seen
from
it?
the year
Yes.
2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades,
This one really
soon
makes you think,
we
though.
will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace.
Uh-huh.
Me too!
Me too!
That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silence is those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with
We are
me.
not so
Don't give me that.
different, you and I.
I'm enlightened,
Yes.
and you're as bad as... Well... What
As
I'm
bad as
trying to
himself.
say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews.
You also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for like graduation ceremonies. In dorms. And hiring practices.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I too am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask: is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a
Grim, is this
firm
funny to
believer
you
in
at
gun
all?
control.
It would be
Gun
funnier if
control.
ICE didn't exist.
This was one of my
Oh,
ideas too.
true.
It
Ban
feels a
them
bit
from the undesirables. Yes, look here.
out of date.
And your shirt. This is an organization.
This is
founded
actually
by
fairly
Margaret
recent.
Sanger.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It was like last week.
You know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
And the eradication of undesirable populations by means of
Ooh.
eugenics. Brilliant lady.
He's not wrong, though.
Her
You know, I seem to remember this is the whole thing behind Resident
Socialized
Evil
healthcare.
also.
That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers'
Oh,
Party?
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people seem to forget that.
They had to go there, Grim.
They were not socialist in any way,
No.
shape,
That they
or
wouldn't put
form.
in the name then, Grim. I'm sorry.
No,
This has to be
he
some sort of-
co-opted that.
Democratic People's
We are nothing
Republic of
alike.
North Korea.
You're Adolf Hitler,
Yeah.
evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian?
Me too! Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man to have ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that
Aw.
I'm meeting you in person,
True, he was a piece
you're
of
not
shit.
at all what I thought you were.
You don't like actors?
And your painting
I
is...
don't like
actually
your
really
version
good.
of Thatcher.
What do you call it?
I call it
His painting sucked.
only Yuden.
Jeez.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds
I
beautiful.
mean, compared to some of the stuff that's being passed off as art today,
No, he was he was a terrible artist. But
I did enjoy
to
the
be
new
sure, do you
sound.
remember the banana that was taped to a wall that sold for millions of dollars?
okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit though, that was creative. I mean, if any of us would have thought of it and did it and gotten $1 million for it, damn right we'd have all done it, right?
Yeah, I would have done that.
Hang on, are we talking the travel back in time to kill Hitler thing, or
Ironcaster. There is always a point at which someone will sell out. It's just a matter of dollars. It really is. I mean,
like
know.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's true. I mean, let's be honest. If any of us, if somebody walked in and said, hey, guess what? If you give up your platform or your channel or whatever like that, and we give you, $5-10 million, will you? And I'd be like, sure, no problem.
I'd be like, US or Canadian?
Well, okay, yeah. I mean,
Pesos.
yeah. If it's 10 million pesos, I don't know. Low hanging fruit, the modern left or the Well, I mean, it's the same difference. I mean, but anyway. But Dash has some news for us from the world of VTubers, of which I honestly I'm kind of out of my depth on this.
Yeah, so VShoujo, the all-female VTuber talent agency it has collapsed on itself with their biggest star, Iron Mouse, someone who was nominated and won a Game Award for Best Content Creator, like the first VTuber to ever do so. She left because they weren't paying her. And turns out they weren't paying anyone. And because they ran out of money, and so much they ran out of so much money, they even dipped into charity funds, money that was meant for charity, thinking
That's not right.
Take it all back and pay everything that they took, and they couldn't. Yep, and so now, pretty much everyone quit on them, and now, they've pretty much put out a statement that VShoujo is over.
And they were the biggest agency, weren't they?
Well, they were one of the biggest, yeah. There's several ones. HoloLive, Ninja Sunny.
HoloLive is the one I've heard of the most.
They would have been the largest one.
They would have been, except for...
Sorry, no. HoloLive is the largest one.
Okay. Well, they are now for sure.
Yeah. Ninja Sanji has its own issues with some of the talent and other former talents that they've had on its staff to and from. And then this HoloLive was just the icing on the... Not HoloLive, I'm sorry. I meant VShoujo. This was just icing on the cake because you had the Iron Mouse video that got leaked out before the VShoujo statement. And then Silverveil came right out and shared, damning details.
Yeah, about how that apparently she didn't get backed when she tried to when they tried to cancel her over Hogwarts. The company didn't back her. Wait, Tom, do you know more about the Silverveil part of this story? Because I have that's one of the details I haven't looked fully into.
Yeah, I know a lot about the Silverveil stuff because I don't watch videos all the time, but I keep up with all the stuff still because I follow so many of them. Because so this all starts back when the Hogwarts Legacy came out, and Silverveil was one of the VTubers that she was going to play the game, and she played it for a while. But of course, you had all the J.K. Rowling haters coming out and basically attacking those that played the game. And remember, at one point, someone made a site to put that where you could put that list down whoever played the game on their site, so that way they could be harassed. But that got shut down after a while. And Silverveil, in her video, she said that when everyone was trying to attack and harass her for playing Hogwarts Legacy, I think Gunrun is what the guy goes by, I recall, who's in charge of VShoujo. Is that correct?
I believe so. That's the one who attacked Silverveil.
Yeah, because Silverveil said that Gunrun told her that she was doing nothing but damaging the brand and was a disgrace, basically, to the label.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him.
So
Tell us how
that's
you really feel,
basically the
Dash.
majority of it. Yeah.
It had gotten to the point that I believe Crony, one of the biggest Japanese talents from V Shoujo, quit live on air with the CEO in a call.
Oh.
And as it turned out, she hadn't been paid in like 6 months either.
Oh. So, I mean, what's the deal? It's just that they were all losing money and the VTubers were not getting paid either, or what? I mean,
They were not paying their talent. Because they spent all the money on something else. I'm not sure like what, but apparently they thought they could make this money back up and like generate more profits, but they were wrong. And so they had talent they couldn't pay.
Jesus. That's
It's
like
it's corporate
Yeah.
malfeasance on a very high level.
It is. I mean, it's like imagine if you did something like if you watched wrestling and guys were going unpaid for a month or so, and then you find out the talent company is squandered all the money that it was supposed to pay you and supposed to pay charity, and all the talent started quitting. Jeez.
Probably a combination of amateurishness and over rapid growth. So they overextended and then got fucked.
Yeah, that could be.
And
Plus,
grifted
well,
greed, of course.
with the sheer amount of competition within the VTubing scene, I have to imagine they were just trying to push. They were trying to push to grow faster than they were able to keep up with.
It might be. It might also have been. Well, I mean, I'm sure all this credit card stuff has probably hurt them. I know one of the VTubers who quit was Project Melody, who was, to my knowledge, like the first adult VTuber.
Yep.
So, I think maybe this is like one of the first dominoes to fall here, and I'm just kind of sitting back and wondering who else is going to get hit.
Well, if there's any one positive to come out of this, it's the amount of people that have turned around and have been raising money for Iron Mouse's charity. It's like they've gone and turned around and managed to raise about over $1 million for the that blood disorder charity, and it's gotten to a point now where a lot of the VTubers are all competing to try to and keep the top spot to keep the donations up. It's as terrible as this is in as terrible as this is, there has been something positive to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really watched a lot of these official company owned VTubers. I was always a fan of more of the independents. I mean, you got Dash Attack, Banana Juju, Kirsch, Lavistro, the Sinistre, I think is what she goes that the lady that appears on his show sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what yeah. Because a lot of these guys who do VTubing now, they feel like, oh, if I can be independent, I can keep both the identity and my money instead of letting someone else have control over it all.
Yeah, there's perks to being a corporate VTuber, but one of the things is like the rights to your character and your persona online are basically like owned by the company. So you do lose like it's a trade-off. You get all these resources and promotion, but you lose like creative freedom,
which is an absolute rip in my opinion.
Man, well, sounds like everybody's having a shitty week this week besides me.
Actually, it's been a pretty good week for me. My birthday was yesterday, and I went into the bar and ate a salad, and I painted minis.
Oh, nice!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yep. Mine didn't end too badly. I watched Excalibur for the first time last night.
Oh my god!
80s movie.
Good.
Oh, it's a good movie. What'd you think?
Okay, so it was kind of, it's like I basically was able, because I'm very well versed in my Arthurian history, because I actually was something I learned when I was in school, was the history of King Arthur and all that. So I was very familiar, like, oh, okay, this is happening, so I know what's going to happen next kind of deal. So it was literally like the entire history of King Arthur, bang after bang. And this is one thing I noticed about some of these 80s and 70s movies, is there's no build up to anything. It's just scene. Like, it's just one thing after the other. There's never a build up. But I mean, so there's some movies that do that well and others that don't. But Excalibur was not bad. It was basically me getting to see the history of King Arthur in like a movie format.
Well, keep in mind, they had to compress the film for a theatrical audience and a theatrical run. So that means they pretty much had to keep it to like an hour and a half or, a 2-hour format.
I think it was an hour and a half, if I recall.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious in that film that there must have been there was a lot of footage that was actually cut from it. From what I understand, there was a whole scene with Lancelot saving Guinevere from bandits and stuff like that, and other things that were cut.
I did like how they kind of took a turn with the Merlin's perspective, because I've always imagined Merlin as just like a regular like wizard just helping out King Arthur with magic, but they actually said in the movie he's a necromancer. And then the interactions with him and Morgana later on were actually really cool. Those were some of my favorite parts. Was when Morgana, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, but when Morgana turned his magic against him to like freeze him up in ice to capture him. That was a good scene.
Grim, I'm waiting for you to say something.
Something.
No, come on, dude. This is your wheelhouse, dude. You live in freaking Arthurian place. Real castles, not made out of polystyrene.
It wasn't really a real guy. He's an amalgam of a bunch of different stuff.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a buzzkill.
Dude!
And then fucking Geoffrey of Monmouth kind of piecing the myth together into one form.
Oh,
what about Mort d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory?
What about it?
Well, come on. That's what the movie's based on.
I don't know. This whole idea of chivalry, it wasn't really a real thing. And what there was of it died in the mud in Crazy. So,
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but it was a good movie, though. I did enjoy it. Mostly because I'm a King Arthur fan myself. I do love my King Arthur history.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Magnificent Devil is right. It's like mythology is extremely valuable because it is.
That's like, even like, people who have like different religions will appreciate the mythology of other people. Like I love like the ancient Egyptian lore and, Viking lore, like Norse mythology, like, all that stuff is really cool. And it's what culture is made of.
I have all the Sinbad movies.
We may not be Egyptian, but we sure love seeing Lord Thoth in the chat.
Yes, we do.
True.
And they did have Patrick Stewart and Helen Mirren in it, so
Oh my God, that thing was like a grocery list of awesome people. I mean, you had Gabriel Byrne, you had Nicole Williamson, you had Patrick Stewart, you had Terry William. What was his name? Terry. What's his name? The guy who actually played Arthur himself. You had.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, you had the guy who played
Nigel Terry.
Liam Neeson was in it also.
Yeah.
Nigel Terry was King Arthur. Helen Mirren was Morgan Le Fay. Oh, yeah, I recognize Helen Mirren. I didn't realize that was her.
And
yes.
Was Liam Neeson in it, if I remember?
Yeah,
Liam Neeson was in it.
Gawain.
Gawain. And yes, Savo, Helen Mirren is in it, and she also has her boobies. Helen Mirren's boobies also.
Yeah, right in the beginning of the scene. It's like super dark for like the first like 10-20 minutes. And then it gets into the actual story, because I really have forgotten about the whole Uther Pendragon storyline of how it came to be until I watched that movie. Like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
The sad thing to me is how many of those actors are no longer with us. Nigel Terry is no longer with us. Nicole Williamson is no longer with us. The fellow who played Lancelot he died very young. The guy who played Mordred, Robert Addy, he passed away also. I mean, it's just like all the talent that was in that movie that is gone now is just like crippling to me, because it was, made back in 1981. So
yeah, the armor design for Mordred I thought was an interesting take on it too, because
was really cool.
It was great.
I'm used to seeing Mordred was like the black sheep, the unspoken son of Arthur. So every time he was always like black armor, long black hair, but they actually made him like a pretty boy.
Yeah,
and I thought like, well, actually no, that would make sense for the son of King Arthur. He would still look the part.
I mean, there's so many wonderful things you could say about the film. From a realistic historical point of view, they weren't wearing armor like that at the during that period. They didn't necessarily have that kind of weaponry and everything else, but it looked cool on screen, and it still evoked that whole heroic mythology. I mean, and the whole armor designs themselves kind of spoke out individually about some of the characters. I mean, like, for example, did you notice that all of Arthur's knights are pretty much identical in their armor with some small variations?
Oh, the armor that they had for the knights was really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nicholas Clay. Yeah. Golly.
I just had another thought. I forgot what it was, though, now.
Well, I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad you enjoyed it because, yeah, that's like a cornerstone of fantasy, of epic fantasy, epic mythology. You know, whether they got things right or wrong, it was a heck of a story, and I remember watching it over and over and over fondly as a youngster.
Yeah,
the fight scene between Arthur and Lancelot was one of my favorite scenes too.
I got to watch it in school.
I did too. I remember they fast forwarded through the lovemaking scene.
Oh yeah, the very beginning. Yeah, when that happened, it was like, oh, okay, we're going this way now.
Yeah, it's like the teacher warned us ahead of time, and about it, and then when that scene actually came up, she was fast forwarding through it, and I'm just kind of like, I was sitting there chuckling because I'd already seen it about 3 or 4 times on HBO. So, but
it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie. Grim, what did you actually think about Excalibur? You watched it, right?
Yes, of course.
And
that's one of the things that's illegal for them to not do.
Yeah.
I think it's very much an artifact of its time, which would have been the late 70s when it was in development.
Mm-hmm.
It has that kind of slightly weird, slightly ethereal feel. It's like a bridge film between the sort of high concept weirdness of the 70s and the slightly more grounded sort of 80s action flicks like Dragon Slayer and things like that.
Yeah, and Lord Thoth makes a good comment. He says Excalibur is a better nostalgia movie than a good one. I would agree, because it's like I recently watched Excalibur like a few months ago, and I remember thinking some of these line deliveries and performances could have been better.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, it's a product of its time. It's not as good compared to what we have today, but for what it was then, it is a good movie.
I don't know that I would go so far as to, stick my foot entirely up my ass and say that it's not as good as what we have today.
Oh, I do it all the time, so I'm perfectly okay doing that.
Do we need to play the song?
Depends to what aspect we're talking. Now, special effects, we could say, obviously, argue better. There can be some better performances here and there, but overall, there's nothing quite like an 80s classic.
Yeah, like special effects, camera quality, line delivery, that kind of stuff. It does vary and change throughout the years. That's what I was kind of referring to.
Aesthetically, it is a very aesthetically consistent film from what I remember. It does use a lot of all the effects they use, what they had at that time, they work and they give it a unique feel that just you can't seem to recapture.
Okay, I mean, if you just look at Excalibur by itself, it's not that extraordinary looking. I mean, it's very simple. I've looked at it many, many times. It's a very practical, very simple longsword. I mean, it's got a wire wrapped handle. It's nothing special to look at. But the fact that every time they have magic and stuff present in the film, they put everything under this weird green glow intentionally. It just kind of and then they play the little ominous hum and stuff that it would make. That's what gave you the whole impression that it was magic. It was subtle.
In some ways, it's a bit like the Giallo film Fulci or something in the use of color.
Yeah, exactly. Stone Cold Loki says no one ever talks about Uther. Man didn't even take off his armor, just went to work. Absolute legend. Yeah, no kidding. It's during that whole scene, he left his armor on completely. So I imagine being crushed under the weight of that guy, his armor, and if you're a girl.
That sounds hot.
You've got to keep your armor on. You don't want to catch something.
Yeah, because that's going to protect you.
Hey, guys, I don't know what you're complaining about. He wore protection.
Yes, he did. He totally did. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Mercurius for Australian $1. Thank you for being here, sir, and thank you for being the only contributor today. But here, let's give you a good one. I I don't actually have anything Arthurian, but I do have this, which is almost as good.
I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. With a fucking pencil.
Excellent film. I keep trying to put Keanu stuff in here, and it's just not a whole lot I can do. But apparently, he's got that film coming up though, where he's playing an angel. I'm curious about that one.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it because it's got Keanu in it anyway. But.
Yeah.
Cool.
Since we're on the topic of movies, T-shirt. Did you save?
Man.
What?
Did you save the new Naked Gun trailer that I tagged you in earlier?
I did see that one. We'll have to bring it up a little bit on the next time. I think probably on Tuesday because I don't think we're gonna have time for me to go and get it now.
I probably won't see it just because I want to see I've seen enough to know that I want to see the movie.
I do too.
I do too. And again, it made me laugh. Again, the trailer, so it makes me want to see the movie more.
Well, this is the cool thing about movies. It's all of a sudden we're actually wanting to see them in the theaters or at least watch them again. I mean, there's several of them out there that have my curiosity and make me want to go check them out. So,
as I've talked about before, the new Naked Gun, I do ultimately want to see it, but I do have some problems with it because the comedy isn't quite right for what the show had been like.
I think you're being too particular, but okay. I mean, as long as it's in the nice, stupid humor, I think we can handle it. But yes, Ultra, thank you, man, for $5. You're paying your monthly dues. Well, let me see what I can get for you. I don't think I have anything money related on here, do I? Would you like some Rick James?
Sure.
Fuck your couch, nigga. Buy another one, you rich motherfucker. Fuck your couch, nigga. Fuck your couch. Darkness is.
There you go.
Rick James, bitch.
Yep. Buy another one. Darkness is. God, man. Chappelle Show was so great.
I will never forget going to high school, like the day after that thing aired.
Oh my God.
Everyone. Like, especially at that age, like that became the talk of the hallways. Everywhere you were going, you would hear someone like going, "What? Yeah, yeah,
yeah."
Okay.
I remember that. Okay. I remember the player haters ball. I think I died laughing. I mean, like I laughed for like 20 minutes straight through the player haters ball.
I think one of my favorite Chappelle skits I remember seeing is where he's a blind black man. He's all just fucking redneck and he thinks he's white.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
That was the first sketch they did.
Yeah.
I never did get to see his show he did though, because unfortunately my parents were not rich enough to afford better cable.
Yeah, Grim.
It was something of a magic era, like having access to like all of that comedy with South Park would be aired on. Everyone talked about all this. It was the best of times.
Oh yeah, mid 2000s, like up to 2000s, where comedy was just completely unfiltered.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those days they will never come back. They're gone forever, I think.
Mm.
I don't know. South Park's still holding out.
They got hit lately or the other day too for what they did, but
I don't even want to talk about that just because I've heard so much about it already.
Well, the thing is,
I'm just saying.
I always thought South Park Saddam was like the funniest thing ever. So the fact that they just recycled the joke, it makes me want to see the episode.
I never saw the South Park movie. I have seen episodes. I've never saw the South Park movie they made though.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. My point is though, they're just not giving a shit, even though there's millions of dollars and stuff involved.
Yes.
I believe it was exactly $1.5 billion, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a cheap show like South Park.
I saved this for Grim, so I could get his opinion.
Okay. I ain't even asked.
That actually looks really good. I'm getting hungry already over here.
You'd eat that ass, Hunter?
I'd eat that ass up.
You're so disappointing, sir. I expected you to say something like, "Oh, it's the most American thing I've ever seen," or
I think she needs a proctologist urgently.
No, the most American thing you could have shown him is Taco Bell.
Is that really? Well, yeah, I guess it is pretty. Okay, he's gonna force me to pull out. I didn't want to do this, but okay, I'm gonna do this. Y'all ready?
Stop.
Is it Demolition Man?
No.
What the fuck is this? A chopped breakfast roll. It looks like something I might leave behind if I binge ate 2 boxes of fucking bran flakes. If you don't know what a breakfast roll is, it's a full Irish breakfast in a roll. Possibly the unhealthiest thing man has ever conceived, but absolutely heavenly and created by the Irish. He's deep fried the hash browns. I put them in the air fryer because I'm healthy. He's chosen to take this beautiful example of Ireland's mastery of meats and oil and turn it into a satanic abomination. He's got beautiful Irish sausages there. He's going to defile them. I feel like I'm watching a fucking public execution. What are you doing with the fucking seesaw thing? Will you just get it over and done with? I can't fucking watch this anymore. Jesus, for the love of God, come back. It's time. He's not going to put red sauce. He's mashing the red sauce.
Ketchup is what does it for me. I would have done gravy.
Man. Squishy and dry. Fuck this. Follow me. I'm delicious.
There you go. That's for you, Grim.
Thank you.
I called him Irish.
A lot of them.
Well, who can you laugh at if you can't laugh at Irish people?
Hey, I'm Irish. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Well, there you go. Ironcaster is still trying to convince me to paint miniatures.
Well, no, I'm actually slowly working at my own little pile of shame. And as you see, like, this one's basically been
is that a Blood Angel?
Yes.
Yes. So this was technically like a 3D printed one. And here's the actual Blood Angel, just for comparison.
It's red, so they'll go faster.
No, it's Mephiston red. Like for Mephiston, the chapter master of the Blood Angels. But
they'll still go faster.
Also, and yes, before anyone asked, that is in fact a female head on this. But seeing how this is not a Space Marine, I have no problem with having female warriors in this army.
Are
you bringing cannon? You bringing cannon? You woke?
Yeah, you're one of those, huh, Caster?
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I want to paint up. I want to paint up hot chicks. That's why half my elves I printed are all female.
So why don't you just get Adeptus Sororitas? I thought that's exactly what that was made for.
Hang on. If I'm painting Space Marines, the Space Marines are all dudes. These are not Space Marines. This is a completely unrelated. This is the Crimson Inquisition. Or wait, fuck. What was the name of this? My humans, the Crimson Wings. This is in no way a Blood Angel and is legally distinct.
Okay, just you know what? Just 3D print one of these already.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look,
smash.
If you can get me the files, I will happily print this up and have it ready tomorrow.
But if I knew who did it, I certainly would, just to see you print it out.
Oh man, if we had more mecha like this, I'd be on the mecha pick like every.
No, you'd have the nation of Australia trying to shut this down too.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Don't they upgrade Space Marine Classic by transplanting their head onto a Primaris body? So all those leftover Astartes bodies, they could transfer Adeptus Sororitas heads onto those. So yeah, it makes perfect canonical sense.
I mean, if you're into chicks with, anyway.
T-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like I'm the B in LGBTQ, but still, it's,
And this is my unit of sexual assault Marines. What?
Yeah.
That should not make me laugh as hard as it did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your MasterCard has been denied.
It's all right. I use Visa.
I use Visa.
Time to put on our pirate hats.
We did not use regular MasterCard.
Anyway, we're at our hour. So Grim, what you're running Fabula Ultima tomorrow?
Yes, it should be our at least temporary finale.
A temporary finale. Does it make you sad a little bit to be ending it, or are you just feeling relieved that you're not having to run it anymore?
I like running stuff, but I'm running out of steam a bit, so it'll be good to have a bit of a space to recharge.
Okay, well, fair. You could thank Kevin Crawford for finally getting me Ashes without numbers. So.
Drink.
And Caster, will you be joining us for our Ashes without number game?
I will be able to do like every other Sunday, but yes, I will. I'll be able to show for some of them.
Okay, well, I mean that'll work. So, all right, join us tomorrow on Grimm's channel, and I will probably be streaming it as well. So, and then of course Tuesday is our final Dungeons and Discussions for the season. So we have to think of a really awesome topic, or we have to get lots of really cool guests on, or something to really send it out with a bang this year. Yeah. So anybody who wants to come on, just let me know. But until then, y'all take care and have a wonderful week.
Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.
Hunter, what? You spoke over me. Damn it.
Sorry.
Bye.
Everything from A to fucking Z. He's crude, he's rude, and cannot grasp behaving in society. He is the faux pas king. Oh yeah,
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel,
everything. Oh,
I wish you all sweet dreams.